Printing your favorite theme park treats right from the comfort of your home? Introducing MainStreetTreat.com. We bring your favorite treats right to your doorstep. Visit MainStreetTreat.com today and go ahead, treat yourself.
Well, hello, Disney Connections and fellow Disney freaks. Welcome to the return of Taco Tuesday.
Hey, it's been a long time coming.
Right. People have been asking, hey, are we going to do any Taco Tuesdays? And I'm like, yeah, I really want to do a Taco Tuesday. And it's going to be a little bit different.
It's going to be a lot different.
A lot different. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to go back and we're going to, maybe look at some Disney Plus shows or something like that. But which we might. But we're going to kind of use this as a platform to talk to our Disney community.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Disney YouTube community. So from week to week, you just never know who's going to show up. And we're really excited about this week.
You're starting it off with a bang this week.
I'm starting it off with a bang, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on right now. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully everything is working out on your end. Right now, I think we're having a storm or something out here in Central Florida because my internet's all messed up.
Like we're not having there's no storm out there, but I feel like there's something going on like electronically, like things are just blinking and shutting on and off, and I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna roll with it.
We're just gonna keep going.
So let's do it.
And you know what? Who better to bring in on tonight's show than the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Godfather, Pete McDevitt. Welcome in.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. We have had a lot of our subscribers, a lot of people have asked about coming back to do our Taco Tuesday, which it kind of started off as an interview type, hanging out show. Then we kind of got away from that and we started like analyzing. I think I was going to actually put on my Falcon and the Winter Soldier shirt because I think that was our first Taco Tuesday outside of people was talking about like all the Disney Plus shows and whatnot. But yeah, we're going to get back to this, and what better person to bring you in than the one that I've spent so much time with interviewing already.
That's true. Very true.
So we've spent quite a bit of time together. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, well, let me
let's go at it again.
Not in the creepy way.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely not in a creepy way. Let's go at it again.
But I wanted to like set a little bit of ground rules tonight. The ground rules being that this is a constitutionally friendly channel and show. We are all about the First Amendment. So whatever needs to be said, either here or in the chat, is okay, right? But we're also the Fifth Amendment. So if I say something, I ask you a question, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to answer that. You have that right as well.
And I'll go back to what I said 2 seconds before the show started. The table's open. There's nothing that you can ask me that's not off the table. So go.
Perfect. Now I have to come up with a whole new set of questions. And speaking of questions, if you want to put questions in the chat, go put those questions in the chat. I'm going to try to grab those, or maybe you'll see them as they roll by, and we'll pick up questions from the chat as well.
Say hi to people in the chat.
We should say hi to people in the chat. So let's go up here because a lot of people have been in here and waiting on this.
Someone's been waiting since like 8 o'clock this morning. So
I think somebody was waiting.
We better
since
make
last
this
week.
good because they've been waiting a long time.
Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. So Julie McCowan, welcome in, the Tomorrow Traveler, Tomorrowland Traveler, Debbie Burnfield, good friend, welcome, hello. I think she's actually she is a moderator.
Yep.
We got Main
Thank
Street
you
Treats
so
in the
much.
house. Fred O'Malley, hello, welcome in. Hey Pete, there you are. You're right there in the chat as well. Monogram Molly, welcome. Let's see. I was just seeing if there was anything there.
Diamonds. You got to scroll faster than that, Rob.
Regina Erie, welcome in. Hello.
Faster.
Oh, well, I
No,
kind of
I'm
slipped off.
watching.
Rob.
Yes.
Sit back. Stevie Lee, welcome in. Debbie Burnfield, great that you're here. Jeremy, welcome to see you. Good to see you. Anne-Marie Dryer's in the house. Chris Dyes, Surfer Girl. Jeannie525. What's up on a Disney? It's Susan Silva in the house. Welcome in, everybody. If we missed you along the way, it's because Rob's slow and I'm unfortunate here. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Melanie is going to take over. Go, Mel.
And the show's pretty much over now. So good night, everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, ask your first question, Rob. Let's get it rolling. I'm telling you, you can't take them anywhere.
So we've talked a lot about Disney. We've talked a lot about, you and everything that has gone on. But tonight I want to focus more on stuff maybe people don't know. Okay. Stuff like, where you grew up, what kind of things you did for fun in high school.
I want to know what you did that got you in the most trouble in high school.
Ooh, okay, let's start there. What got you
in the most trouble?
In the most trouble in high school or middle school?
Probably sneaking out of my house, going out and hanging out with friends.
Now, how did you get out? Was it like a window, like ladder situation?
I just go out. I'd go out the basement back door and grab my bike and just go and try to sneak back in. I think that would probably be one of the top things. And probably, latter part of high school, coming in late. I was always a designated driver because I didn't drink back in high school. Because as much as I enjoyed a beverage or two, it was more important to me that my friends got home safely. So I'd always be the last one getting home because of dropping people off, and I would always hear the most flack about that.
No, you seem like the responsible one. Yeah.
For the most part, I enjoy a beverage or two in the right location with the right people.
All right. So did you ever get caught, like sneaking back in?
Yeah, I got caught at times. Absolutely. When you're young, your parents are, still with you. Sometimes, they stay up late or whatever. But yeah, I got caught a couple times. You just dealt with it.
I never snuck out.
Never snuck out.
No, I was scared. I was scared of my parents.
I snuck out more in middle school than high school. By the time I got to high school.
How do you even sneak out in middle school? It's not like you can drive. Would you sneak out into the neighborhood and
we did.
And just walk around the neighborhood?
Pretty much. Yeah. We would sneak out. We would walk around the neighborhood, and then we would dodge cars. One night we ran into some barbed wire because we live kind of in a rural area.
And we're actually wondering why we had trouble with chat. I think we just explained it.
Yeah, right. I would climb out my bedroom window though. I did that.
You did?
Yeah,
I just don't know. Like, I didn't think anybody was doing that. I was super sheltered. Like, I didn't know anyone was sneaking out. Nobody was breaking rules in my world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not until college. And then you're not really breaking rules
because,
you're kind of an adult. Not really, but.
Yeah. By the time I got to high school, though, I think my mom and I kind of had an understanding. And I was never out super late anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All my friends, we were in by midnight.
So what did you do for fun? Like when you weren't sneaking out, when you were just going out, did you have go to people's houses for parties? Was there a movie theater? Like, what did you do? What was the hangout?
High school was a lot of parties. I went to a lot of parties that most people threw illegally or what have you, as whatever you say, their parents would be away. I used to, for my whole senior year, I went to several parties with Tupac Shakur and Will Smith's wife.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We knew each other through acquaintance, more of a head nod type thing, just from seeing each other at parties. Because when you have go to some of these big ones, all these kids would show up, and they went to the School of the Arts down in Baltimore, and they would come out to some of the county parties. So it was kind of, I mean, I didn't realize how important he would be till later in life, but there's actually a picture somewhere. I was looking for it recently at my mom's house. There's a group picture with me and like 10 of my friends, but I know that Tupac's in it. I'm not sure if she's in it, but I know he's in it. So kind of cool.
That's crazy.
I thank you for keeping Jada's name out your mouth.
I did. Yeah. Miss Smith. So
I don't want him showing up. He might, but
that's very cool.
All right. So kegger or cases, which was it?
At that point, for most of my friends, both.
Okay.
Whatever they could get there. When you're in high school, it's whatever you can get your hands on. So
well, because I mean, like when we were growing up, you couldn't just order kegs. It was past that.
Keg.
Yeah.
Keg.
Right.
My one rule that I had was nothing open while I was driving. I didn't care if they had stuff that was sealed in the back of I had a 5.0 Mustang when I was in high school, and I didn't care if they put it in the trunk, but it wasn't going to be open while I was driving because I didn't know what I was going to do in life, but I knew it wasn't going to be getting pulled over and being drunk, or having open alcohol in the container. And being the fact that I went in and had a job that required a security clearance, I think that was a good move.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably,
I did get a ticket for open container once, but it was a mistake on the part of the officer.
Oh.
He wrote the wrong code on it, so I actually got a ticket for not having my seatbelt on. But when I went to court, they said it was open container, and so then it actually got thrown out because
that worked out good.
Yeah.
That's as much trouble as I got in high school. Apparently Stephanie was naughty. I kept seeing a lot of things in the chat, something about jacuzziing and sneaking out. So if there was a jacuzzi, that might have enticed me to sneak out, but didn't.
Yeah, college was definitely another matter. Actually, by the time I got to college, I was kind of partied out.
Yeah, you didn't like parties.
Yeah.
I had to beg him to go to parties in college, and then he would just stand there with his coat on. Or he would find out who was running security and get a job running security at the party, and so that he was actually working and not able to enjoy himself, except he was having fun.
Oh, so. Doing security at college parties is the best. Like, you just get to watch all the people being dumb. So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. You said 5.0. What year was your Mustang?
I graduated 87, 85.
Ooh, an 85. Okay. I like 85 through 91. Yeah.
85, cream colored, blue interior.
Okay. All right.
Good car.
Wow.
Good car.
You had a newer one. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, newer 87. I mean, it was only a couple years old.
Yeah.
Shoot, my car was 20 years old by the time when I got my first car.
I was 20, I think, right around 1920 when I got my first car. And, a little bit later in time when I got it, but it was fun. It was good. I miss it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss my truck. I'll be honest with you. That's what I miss, but I miss my truck the most because I gave that up when all this happened because I didn't think I'd drive again. And I was wrong.
So you're going to get a truck now?
I will wait and see what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I went out of the house today, just went out of the house and started walking up and down my street. And, again, things you don't think you'll ever do again.
So, right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I think that, the sky's the limit with everything that you've done up until this point. It's like, there ain't no stopping you. I mean, whatever you want.
I'm not done yet.
No.
All right. So tell me, because I kind of got a little bit of the story, but how did you meet your wife, Nanette?
It was a blind date, and just a friend of mine wanted me to stop being moping around and from high school, and he introduced us, and so many years later, here we are. Blind date. You never know when you're going to blind date what's going to happen, right?
So what'd you do for the date?
And who paid?
I always paid.
Oh, you did? That's so nice of you.
That's awful nice of you.
I do that right now. So whenever I do anything, but I want to say it was a movie. I think it was a movie. Yeah, it was a little choppy back and then. A lot of stuff going on. She was dating. You know, she was undecided on dating, and I was going through a lot in my life, you know, personally. So, you know, when we came together, it wasn't something that I guess I'd planned at that time. But, you know, it ended up working out. She's given me 3 incredible kids, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she paid for a lot of stuff when we were dating, but I've been paying for it for the rest of my life. So
I'm not even going to touch that.
Wow.
So I mean, being from Catonsville, like it's a small town. How much? What percent of the population of Catonsville would you say that you know?
I've never been asked that question before. I don't know. 25, 30%. I don't know.
Wow, that's.
I bet more than that know who you are, though.
Yeah, there's some people that know me.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people. I mean, I was blessed to see that with this. I talk about it a lot. The fact of when all this happened, that I was given the "It's a Wonderful Life" experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was able to. I didn't have Clarence running around trying to get his wings, but I was able to see how many lives I affected. It's something. It is a gift of this. There's a couple of gifts that I've gotten out of this that I look at, and that's one of them that I never realized how many lives I actually touched and how many lives I made an impact on. There was one of the girls that I coached in softball. I was in my first therapy location right after I got out of intensive care, and she came over to visit with her dad, and she brought this document to show me, and it was her college thesis that she wrote to get into her college, which was written all about me and how my coaching of her changed her life. And she, you know, brought that to me in the hospital. So little things like that you get to see. People, you know, people showed up here at the house that we hadn't talked to in years with food, with stuff for the kids. My kids had probably the biggest Christmas they ever had that year because so many people were worried about, you know, me being in the hospital at Christmas and everything of what the Christmas was going to be for them. And, you know, at that point, I still wasn't out of the water. I was still being told that, okay, well, yeah, we got you through this, but there's still a 20% chance that you could die in the next 3 months. You know, you're not out of this. You need to fight. I was told many times, you need to fight, you need to fight, you need to fight. And so there was a lot of people that were worried or that had compassion in their heart. So the kids had one of the best Christmases ever. I remember I laid in bed. They brought an iPad over, and I was locked up. They didn't allow me to move at this time because they kind of had me retracted with belts and everything because they didn't want me hurting anything. And I was laying like this on an iPad watching the kids all open their Christmas stuff. And at least the good thing was I was able to see it. Yeah. Tough thing was not being there, but it was emotional in the fact of, you know, having to remind Preston that when I came home that not every Christmas is going to be like that now. That just happened to be that a lot of love that was shared from the community. So yeah, it was a blessing. That was, if I have to say, okay, you know, what's a positive? There's like 3 positives that I have coming out of that. And that's definitely one, being able to see how many lives I touched.
Yeah. And you say that, you know, Clarence wasn't running around trying to get his wings, but maybe he was.
Well, here's what I will say. And I won't go into detail on this, but I will say this. I'm Catholic. I practice. I am 100% without a doubt confirmed in my mind and in my heart that Jesus Christ himself or someone up there has guided me since this has all happened. Because I can sit here and say today, as where I sit, after all my life and after everything I've been through and losing body parts and, waking up in a hospital and I had 14 tubes in me when I woke up to keep me alive. And after all that, and waking up and literally saying to myself, not how am I going to go to a ball game or how am I going to travel to Disney or how am I going to drive my car? I literally said to myself, sitting in a room by myself, how the F are you going to pee on a toilet? Because my life was changed. Everything was different. How am I going to, I literally said to myself, how are you going to feed yourself? Because I didn't know at that time. It was all brand new. It was too fresh. It was hard to consume. I was in a ton of pain. I was taking 19 to 25 pills a day of different things for medication and everything to try to get me there. But I can sit here and tell you today that at this moment, with everything that I've gone through, I am at one of the happiest points of my life at this point.
Wow.
And it's a blessing to be able to say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to interview your mom and sister.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things that your sister kept saying to me was she would go to you and say, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. And it was like this event caused you to slow down and reflect and really to take it all in. Would you agree with that?
My life, I was doing pretty well in the job that I had. And I'm pretty confident in saying I was really good at what I did, involving the military and their families. And I moved up very quick within those realms of the company. That I was able to see that by how well my company took care of my family and me after the fact. And then they flew me down there to last year's national conference for a 20-year recognition. And I'm, sitting at home on, I'm on the Pine as injured reserve. And there was a lot of love that was shared and a lot of great qualities that were said. I think one of the biggest things that was said that night, Rob, and I didn't get on tape, I wish I would have. In your interview with me, I talk about Roy Hardwick hiring me. And I said to him, if you hire me 20 years from now, you won't regret it. He got up on stage while I was down there for this recently in September. And they flew him in, which I didn't know he was coming. They flew him in and he got up on stage just to tell everybody, glad you're here. It's good to see everybody. Cause he was a senior vice president with our company. He was one of the top dogs. And he goes, I see McDevitt's here. And he paused and he goes, I don't regret it. And it still hits me hard. So do I feel I was going too fast? No, I feel I was going at my pace, which is sometimes, one of my strongest characteristics is also my weakest characteristic. And that is if I hear something's going on or I hear something needs to be done, I am all right, I'm fixing it now. If I'm not going to say what the topic was, but I can tell you 2 nights ago at 12:06 a.m., I saw something that needed to be addressed and I was on the phone fixing it because I was going to protect people I love all the way around. So it's just me, but it's also where my sister probably got that. Yeah, I'm a go-to and do it. I'm doing it with what I've done with this channel, which is to make people smile and to put happiness, in other people. And this channel has brought me my greatest smiles as I go through. So yes and no, I guess would be the answer.
Yeah.
Long-winded, but that's the answer.
No,
I love it.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of times for many of us, our greatest strength is also our greatest challenge area. Like that's just something that happens with people who are very driven and that, they kind of they know what they want. They know who they are. They know they have fiercely protective personalities, and loyalty is super important. And I think that we just, there's a million things that you want to fix in a day, to make sure that other people are happy and involved. And I think that never ends. And so there's always something more to do.
Loyalty is a critical word with me. I stole this from one of my direct report supervisors years ago. We were sitting one day in this office, and he was talking with a 3-star general, and he looked at me and said, "Hey, you need to talk about loyalty." I said, "Okay, I'll talk about loyalty." I pulled out a piece of paper in front of this gentleman of great respect, and I drew a circle, and a big circle. And in the middle of the circle, I put a dot. And then outside the circle, I put a dot over here. I said, "This is my circle of trust. You can choose to be here. If you choose to be this dot, you're not going to be happy." And my boss said, "That's the greatest thing I've ever seen, the circle of trust." And that's the way I am. I'm very much about my circle of trust. It takes a lot for me to allow someone into my close circle of trust. If you're in my close circle of trust, those people should know who they are by the way I treat them, with the love and the care that I treat for them. And if someone's in my circle of trust and they came to me today and said, "In order to save this person's life, I need to amputate your other hand," let's go do it. I've already taken off 3 body parts. If it means saving somebody in my circle of trust, I would do it again.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I got that for sure from the people that I interviewed. It was moving. When I set out to do that documentary, I had a vision. I had a like an end game that I thought was going to be the result. But as I started talking to people, that it all morphed. It changed. Every conversation I had with somebody changed it, and that was kind of what I got out of it. The circle of trust, the loyalty, the just that put in your life.
I don't know if everybody, but because I wasn't in on all of the interviews, but what I kept hearing, it kept reoccurring in the interviews, is that these people trust you enough to put their lives in your hands. Like they trust, there is that trust there that they trust you, and that they feel like they, would defend you to the death.
It's about relationships. It's about relationships. It's about, opening up and getting to know somebody, and then wanting to continue that friendship or that business relationship or that association, whatever level it is. It's about, for me, I say it a lot. If I've ever invited you into my home, if I have ever sat and broke bread with you and spent time with you, if I have ever traveled to see you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's my friends in Disney that I call and say, "Hey, I'd like to see you down there." You guys have been on that list at times where I've reached out to you and said, "Hey, I'd like to see you." Or if it's somebody outside of Disney that says they're going there and I say, "Hey, I would like to take time to see you," then you have made an impact on my life. And I pay respect to that impact with what I do and my actions. The Godfather thing started as a joke, honestly, because it all started because Mickey Bunch started a little bit about it, but Tracy Glenn and Kenzie Days stopped at my home on a way to a Disney trip. And if you've ever been in my hallway, you know what I'm about to talk about. In my hallway, there is I am Italian, I am Sicilian. My father was adopted. So there is Godfather is one of my favorite movies. There is a picture that has been morphed, I would say, or adjusted, that has my body replacing that of Don Corleone, and the ring is being kissed, and Tracy Glenn was screaming in my hallway one day, "Oh my God, he is the Godfather! Oh my God!" And he was putting it out on pictures, and that's where it started. But as much as it was a reference and a slight joke when it started, I take that homage with the utmost respect and the utmost responsibility. I feel it's my responsibility with this channel, with what I do, to help as many people as I can, to put my needs behind that of those of this community, to want to see everybody have success in whatever that may be. And success is defined differently for each person, but whatever that level is, I hope to see them and help them get there. And I just have faith in God that he'll reward me. And I will tell you, since doing this channel and right now at this point in my life, I feel that God has rewarded me with a lot of things, and he continues to reward me each day. And I just continue to try to work and to do things. I get more satisfaction out of seeing someone else achieve a monumental goal or a level of accomplishment. Like, I was ecstatic about Tina the other day getting 1,000. Okay. I was in the middle of my stream and stopped what I was doing in the middle of my stream to push things over to get help Kelly to get her over. Those type of things are more important. I had one. This will get me choked up. I had an incredible meeting for the first time. She's in the chat right now with Amory from the Roscoe Mothership down in Epcot. And I will just say, I'm not going to sit here and go into details because it was a private moment, but I will tell you that I've never had someone make me feel as loved for the impact I made on their life than Amory did at that point. And what she shared with me and what she had been through. And it justifies why I do this. It justifies why I do this. I look at things of the friendships that have come out of this, through the stuff we've done with Give Kids the World, for the stuff we did with the Beverly Challenge. I was proud to be associated with that. For the people that I've gotten to know, I take pride in the fact that I think I'm one of the few people in this community that I can pick up the phone and I can either call or text 95% of the people that are those known people, as everybody would say, and they'll answer what I do. And they'll pick up my phone and answer. And I take a lot of pride in that because I've been able to do a lot of things with that and help a lot of people. I look at, what Chris and I do on Friday nights, put smiles on people's faces. I look at the fact of what, Chris and I talked back when he was thinking about doing that whole every night thing, this chill thing that he does. And which is, it is incredible. I'm so proud of him because there was another channel a while back that wanted to do a daily thing, and I was thinking, man, I should do something daily, either morning or whatever. And then Chris got to talk one night. He's like, I'm thinking about doing something, hang out and chill. And he's just crushed it. He's just crushed it. So I sit back with pride for my friend who's just absolutely destroying it, not only as a good creator, but what he's doing to make people smile every night of the week. And that's a blessing when people have somewhere to go. It's the old Cheers thing. You go where somebody knows your name, and that's what he's created. It's phenomenal. I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of what Chris and myself and Steve and Kelly and now Donna and Nick started it, but now Tina and Monorail Molly and Angela Minter are part of this oversight committee, and Josh and Corey as well, to make this community so viable with what we do with the Hall of Fame and with the recognition series. It's acknowledging people for great, incredible characteristics, for creating happiness, for bringing compassion, for treating people with respect, for working in a good way to build a community in a positive way. We have something blessed over here. A lot of people don't realize it. If you go to another community, sports or hunting or fishing or dog walking or anything like that, it's not like this. You don't have the people looking out for each other. You don't have the people. I'm part of a prayer group. You don't have that type of stuff.
Well, I definitely want to talk about hunting at some point too.
I got a freezer full of deer meat, so I'm good right now.
I love it. Hey, I'm going to take a quick pause real quick and just give a shout out to our sponsor tonight. Our sponsor happens to be our own company, Main Street Treat. So
Craving your favorite theme park treats right from the comfort of your home? Introducing MainStreetTreat.com. We bring your favorite treats right to your doorstep. Visit MainStreetTreat.com today and go ahead, treat yourself.
All right, so go check out Main Street Treat if you want to pick up some treats from all around. Actually, we're going to be changing it up and kind of doing some different things. You'll still get, some cookies and Krispies and whatnot, but
time out again. Time out. Here's the deal. These guys are local part of our community, guys. If you're looking to give a treat to somebody, a neighbor, a cousin, a coworker, the person that walked your dog, give them some Disney magic and take Main Street Treats to their home. It's that simple. Back to Rob.
Thank you so much. All right, so
it's really hot in here. I don't know if you like.
It's a little warm.
It's like I don't know why. I don't know if it's your lights or like. Did you turn the heat up again?
I might have.
Like I'm the kind of person where, it gets cold. It's cold here. If you didn't know that right now, it is cold in Florida.
Super cold. I had to wear a shirt over a sweatshirt today.
Yeah, like 40s, right? I mean, it's going to get down to the 40s tonight. So that's very cold for us now. We used to be able to handle it when we were from Oregon, and then we got a little less able to handle it living in Texas, and now we can handle it all since we've been here.
Get your shutters up and close up the ceiling, and you'll be fine.
Well, I know. I got to turn on the furnace.
Turning the furnace on, and I'm like, just get a blanket. Get a blanket. So I feel like you turn the furnace on, and now I have no recourse because I can't take my shirt off. I mean, that would not be appropriate. And
well, it might get confused.
It's really hot here.
The amazing thing of what this community does is it's not only just, it's also what they did for me. When this whole tragedy happened, you had Mouse Talk and Steve of the World, or Worlds now, that came up here and went to one of Preston's soccer games because I was literally laying in a bed like a piece of meat. That's what I was at that point. I had nothing at that point, and they did that. Walt brought me. I remember I had a refrigerator that was brought into my rehab facility for me by someone, and I was complaining one day about it really didn't look like home because I didn't have any magnets. And all of a sudden, here comes Mouse Talk into my room, bringing me magnets. It was. It was the charitable stuff that was done for me. Donna did a ton, and the Dissonant guys did a ton, and Resort TV One and so many others trying to raise money to help us with medical bills, because my responsibility was $500,000.
Wow.
We had, we had 10% responsibility of the $5 million in medical bills that I had. So for them to do that for me and to raise money to help cover stuff, it helped. Every penny helped, which is important. I had Kelly, who I talked to, Myers and the Mouse. We documented that in the film, that I talked to him for hours at a time, and became one of my closest friends on this earth because of his support to get me through. And then you look at things like Jesse coming in and helping with this channel and all we did, and the friendships that have come out of this since then. It's incredible. I take a lot of pride in these relationships and seeing people in Disney and talking to them and being more than a face. And, since, Jesse's been gone, the friendship that I've built with Monorail Molly is incredible. It's a gift that you get, because, you should be able to count. They say at the end of your life, you should be able to count a handful of people in your lifetime that have made an impact so much that at some point during your life, they were your best friend. They were the person that you turn to when you're struggling. They were the person you turn to that, whenever they're there, they'll make you smile. We have our virtual best friends, the people that create this content now that can make us smile. But in my life, I'm lucky right now. I've got that handful. And I'm blessed, and I wouldn't want to think about life without that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, and I've said it many a times. This whole YouTube thing has kind of just smacked me upside the back of the head. I mean, when I first started watching YouTube, and seeing people like interact, or I mean, let's just talk about like online dating. Like that just seems strange to me, to meet people online and it becomes something. And 10 years ago, I would have said, no, that's crazy.
Well, you did say no.
I did.
Because our kids 10
Right.
years ago were all about YouTube. Our daughter wanted a YouTube channel, and you were like, no. And then we go back and we watch the videos that they did make, and we're like, oh, that was a mistake. We should have just let them do it. Like,
Well, but I mean, these friendships that we've created they're real. These are real friendships. Like, I absolutely loved coming up to your house in August and hanging out and seeing your town and seeing your life, which, it would have never happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's the August thing started as something simple as that, Rob. I had friends of mine that were in our group that, at that point, Tina and Dad Builds and Gonzo and, so many others at that first meetup that were going to come. It started out as, well, let's just get together. And then it was like, well, we should tell other people. So if more people want to come, they can. And it blossomed into that. And then this one last year was just off the hook. I mean, the memories that I have from this last meetup are treasured memories that I'll take to my grave. Yeah. They were that important to me. And, and now as we go forward and plan to this next one, I'm hoping that more people will take the time to come, not because it's not about my ego and, oh, I need to have so many people come. I don't care if 3 people come or 300 come. I'm still going to work my butt off with the people that are helping me plan this and organize it to make it as enjoyable and as fun as it can, because we've set it up. If you notice, that cocktail hour is all about people talking and getting to know each other. We could have played loud music and had it all where people can't hear anything and all that kind of stuff. And you leave there and you'll be like, yeah, I saw so-and-so, but I didn't talk to them. No, it's about getting to know and open up a friendship so that, I saw Tina last night on Dad Build Stream goes, there's Hatbox Joe Ghost. It's Jerry. That's awesome to me. That's fantastic, because it's not just a name, it's a person.
I'll put that up there.
Gosh. I just wanted to say about the meetup. So I don't know, maybe you can tell this, maybe you can't, but going to a meetup like that is so out of my comfort zone. Like, Rob is the outgoing one. He's the one that talks to everyone. He's the one that really has never cared what, people think. He's just like, whatever. And he's just himself all the time. And I am much more introverted. I'm like a fake introvert though, right? Like, I don't even really know how to explain it, but I don't like to put myself out there. Which I'm doing this and I can't even believe that I'm doing this, but,
let's go, honey. We're going live.
I have such intense anxiety, and going to the meetup, I was just like, and then I worry that people are going to think that I'm just rude or mean because I'm just not.
Can I throw something over there to you? Can I throw something over there to you?
Yeah.
The Friday night event. I read something that was going on with you. Okay. When you came in, I saw high anxiety to the Friday night event. You were clinging touch to Rob, very, very close. I'm not wrong.
No.
Right? I saw it in your facials, and I saw it in your shoulders, and I saw where you were. The greatest thing that I saw was 35, 40 minutes later, as people started coming in, I saw you smiling, laughing, and relaxed. You were over at that point. I think it was when we were getting our stuff together for the giveaway. You were talking to Angela Minter, and Molly was there, and Chris Dadbuilds was there, and we were all kind of talking, and I just saw that weight go off you. And that, since you brought it up, I'll highlight it and say that to me made my night, because that's what I wanted for everybody in this community. By the end of the night, you were laughing and joking and having a good time with everybody. So, it was Rob that was sitting over there going, hey, where's my wife?
Yeah. No, I think that and attending these events and because I want to be there. I want to be there. I want to have a good time. I know that I have the capacity to do that. It's just breaking through that wall when, I get there. And I did have a great time. I had a great time. I can't wait for the next the next one. And, so that's just an added benefit or something added that's come into my life from doing.
That's awesome. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy. That's what it's about at the end of the day. To me, it's not about numbers. Do I want 100,000 followers? Yeah. So that I can tell 100,000 followers, go to Main Street Tree Company, go check out, Space Mountain Dave. Hey, Tina Marie's place is live. I'm the only guy on YouTube that I know of that when you come into my channel, I'm going to talk about 200 other channels. I'm the only guy on YouTube that I think I know that on a Friday night is saying, here's all the people that I know are going live tomorrow and Saturday. Go check them out. Not once do I say, oh, by the way, I'll be live 3 or 4 times on Saturday and Sunday. Maybe you could come back and watch me. No, I talk about everybody else. I want to put smiles on people's faces. I want to continue to build community.
Well, and I think that's what drew me to you, and we've talked about it. I've told people, she told me I should interview myself for the documentary because, that first meetup and hearing you and I'm not meetup, but phone call when you called me and I'm like 45 minutes into it going, okay, what's the catch? And you said, I bet you're wondering what the catch is. Like at the same time I'm thinking it. And I said, well, yeah, I mean, how much is this going to cost me? And you're like, nothing. This is what I do. And and so I totally appreciate that. And I can see that genuineness right through that. So
people can say what they want about me in any way, shape, or form. What they can't take and they can't they have no words to go against is the fact that I am all about trying to help other people. I want to do that. I'm supported in that with the people that I surround myself with. I think there's too much negativity in the world. You get up every day and there's so many things going on. There's challenges within your own home that you manage and deal with. And if you can find a place to come and find some happiness to get away for a little bit, then it's a beautiful thing. And friendships that are made out of this, I guarantee you there's a lot of people that are watching your chat right now that can sit back and think of one person that they've met in this community that they can say, I don't want to live without that person in my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a friend, okay, they built a friendship with them, a true friendship outside of it, whether it's a simple thing of, I like this creator, I've never met him, but I need their vlogs in my life every day to be happy, to be positive. Or whether it's somebody in your life that you have met, there's been some relationships that have come out of this whole thing since it started years ago. I think that those people can sit back and say, I absolutely love what this is and what it's given me. So I know I'm blessed to look back and think that about a wide variety of people just because I interact with so many. I have a little bit more than some others. That's by my choice. And trust me, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard when you call up people because, Rob, they do have that thing. They have that thing of, what are you trying to get out of me? Okay, you want me on your show because you want my followers. You want me to, I talked to, who did I talk to just recently? Oh, so this is a great story. This is a fantastic story. And I apologize to Surfer Girl, who I know is in this chat right now. But we were at the Magical Night of Hope, okay? And I was sitting at the table. I had Preston on my right, and I had Molly was to my left. Her mom was there. Roscoe Mothership was at our table. And Nate was down there. And Nate and I have been friends for quite a long time. I've been talking to Nate and treating Nate with respect since he had 2,000 followers. Okay. So I saw Nate, he's standing there over talking to Surfer Girl Cherie. And I was about to get up and go say hello because I believe in doing that. And I chose not to. I said, you know what? He's over there talking. That's important. I don't want to do that. But I felt so bad because he was in the middle of talking with Cherie. And they've been talking for like 5 minutes. And he saw me, and all of a sudden he points, and he's coming to me. I felt bad. But the greatest thing about it was I said to Nate, as we're sitting, I said, Nate, I'd love for you to come back on my channel again and do our Triple C show. The girls are doing a great job. This is what they're doing. It's all about helping other people. Nate, I know you're the most generous person that I've known for so many years now. And of course, he's like, absolutely, I'll do it for you. And then I said to him, I don't want you to promote it at all.
Nice.
I said, I'm not looking for you to put it out on your social media. I'm not looking for you to put it out on your Instagram or anything. I don't bring people on because I want them to go do that. It's my job to promote. It's my job to get it out there. If they choose to, that's on their own, but I don't ask them to. And I think we should do that more as a community, because how great would it be to be in a chat and see 15 people with check marks, 20 people with check marks? Because I see it in the sports ones. I've seen it for years.
Yeah.
We can do that if we all help each other.
Yeah.
For the first couple of years of this whole concept, I can tell you numerous creators that were like, I don't want to shout anybody out because I need them to stay with me. I only have a couple followers and I don't want them leaving me and going. Now it should be about being the best you that you can do. Put out the best content you can put out, the best clarity, the best videography, the best editing, the best concept, the best plan, the best storyboard. Put it all out and let your work keep your people, and you can still help others.
Yeah. I mean,
agree.
for sure. And I mean, having, this community, and I mean, if we just said Disney, there's enough Disney to go, like,
Well, that's something that we say, like, even in our business, is it might not be the best business practice, but there's enough Disney for everybody. There's, if someone else wants to pick up and ship treats, do it. Like, there's just, we don't have any, I don't know what.
Reservations?
No, doesn't upset us, doesn't make us angry. Do it. There's enough for everybody, and we're not in this to compete with people. We're just trying to do something that we love that's going to bring joy to other people. So.
Yeah. I'm going to bring it back to track. One of the things that I love about track, and I'm going to ask you some sports questions. We've only got about 7.5 minutes left, because you
can keep me a few minutes longer if you need to.
What I love about track is that, yes, you're out there and it looks like you're competing against other people, because you can't run a race without somebody next to you.
Right.
But really you're competing with yourself. Like my competition in both YouTube and in our business is not looking at how to be better than that person over there, but I want to be 10% better than the last time that I went. I mean, the next time I go live, which is going to be in a couple of weeks with the Disney Baker.
I'm sorry.
I'm hoping that I can get through, all the chat in a faster manner.
I think you should bring Pete on to say hello to the chat.
I might.
Every Tuesday night.
What are you doing in 2 weeks? But I just want to make things better. Every week. I mean, when we were early in YouTube and doing our subscription boxes, I changed our background like every week, because I was looking for the best angle, the best lighting, the best look, and I just wanted to be better.
I know. I think that that's important to maybe not compete with other people so much as just to compete with yourself, and just make yourself the best self that you can be, and don't worry about how other people are doing in their ventures. I mean, worry about them, like try to help them if you can, but don't base what you're doing on, I want to make sure I'm doing better than that person or that person.
Here's the thing with Disney, and I've said this many times to many people, okay? I actually, it's a funny story. So when Tracker was about 700,000 followers, somewhere in there, just under 700,000, I've gotten the blessing to talk to Tim a couple times in the park. And I think he would recognize me as a face. He wouldn't recognize my name. But I was talking to him one day. I said, Tim, his jaw dropped when I said this. I said, Tim, in the picture of Disney, you're really small potatoes. And his mouth dropped. And I said, hear me out. I said, as good as you've done as a pioneer of this industry, as somebody that I would put on a Mount Rushmore of pioneers for what we've done, which I would. I look at Tracker that way. Okay. I don't watch him as much as I'd like to lately, because I follow 576. Yes, that's the actual number. I follow 576 Disney channels. But I told him there's hundreds of millions of people in the world that love Disney. Okay. Hundreds of millions. There's so many people out there that don't even know this medium exists yet. There's always new people coming in because of this rotation of a community you have as people pass away and people come in. There's room for everybody. Why can't, JoJo just crushed it. He's up over 1 point. I think he's coming up on 1.4 mil. Why can't we have 7, 8, 9 creators in our community with 1 million followers? Why can't Resort TV 1 be at 500,000? Why can't so and so and so and so? But you know what? Why can't we got people in here right now? Why can't AJC Amy be at 25,000? There's plenty of people to watch the content.
Yeah.
If we work it out and share it. And that's what I try to do. And that's what I believe.
Yeah. Exactly. Just be authentic, be yourself, and do what you love, I think. And then,
with passion. Someone said, I just read that in the chat. Do what you love with passion.
Yes.
I would have put that up if I would have saw it. I'll make it better. Next week, 10% better.
Oh, Jennifer 10%. Said that.
All right. So real quick, I have a question. I know this is like totally going backwards.
Okay.
Favorite sport to coach?
Tie between baseball and softball. I love the game of baseball, but there's nothing better than watching your daughter flourish and grow.
Okay. Awesome. Bunt or sacrifice?
That's the same thing, depending on the situation of the game.
That's true. As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like,
you call yourself a football coach.
Well, baseball.
Yeah.
You want a story from my past real quick?
Yeah.
I'll give you a baseball story from my past.
Okay.
I don't tell this one often because it's not a proud moment, but it is funny now. I was pretty good when I was younger. I played on a travel team with that was run by Mark Belanger, the Orioles Hall of Famer. I played with his kids. I played with Terry Crowley's kids. I played with Brian Jordan, Jeff Nelson, who has multiple rings on my team. That was in my high school days. When I was like 13, I could really hold my own. Okay. And I was on a tournament travel team that back then they called it All Stars, right? And this coach, Bill Sachs, was my coach. I was over at his house playing stickball with his kids, right? With his sons and other people in the neighborhood. And I hit a ball that went off the neighbor's house. And Bill came out and ripped my backside up and down the thing. Blah, 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 blah. This is Thursday night. We have a game Saturday morning. I was due to pitch. I was a pretty good pitcher. I could hold my own. 13 years old, I was throwing upper 80s when I was pitching. I got all the paperwork to back it up. I was due to be drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. I actually have the letter from the scout telling me we're taking you in the 3rd to 5th round of the major league draft. And then I got hurt and it all fell apart. We haven't even talked about that. We can talk about that in the movie at some point if you want to. But I got up Saturday morning and everybody's kind of got to see me on here. I can be a pain in the backside at times. A little bit. And I got up that morning and I went to the field fully dressed, and he got ready to read the lineup of this major game that we had for this tournament. Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania was where it at. I passed the field at times when I go up to Amish country, and I told him, "You want to win this game? Do it without me." And I sat on the bleachers. I took my jersey off and I sat there. And my father wasn't there, thank God, because he would have beat my backside. My father wasn't there. And he's over there. And I told him, I said, I even called because he was heavy set. I even said, "Listen, Weeble, you can wobble over there." I was there. I said, "You're not going to talk to me like you did yesterday and think that you're going to get away with it, right?" So I sat over on the bench and I had people come and saying, "Please get in the game, please." I said, when he apologizes for what he did yesterday, I'll put on the uniform and I'll do what I got to do. That was a 7th inning game. In the 6th inning, he walked over and he apologized to me. And he said, "Will you please hit for, whoever it was at the time?" There was 2 runners on it. I said, "Thank you for the apology. I'll gladly hit." And I got up and I hit a 3-run homer and I slammed the bat down and turned and looked at third base and said, "Could have had that the whole game if you wouldn't have been an ass." And then I ran around. So that's a story of when I was younger. And, I was a little arrogant during the days because it was a different thing. And my dad and I didn't have the greatest interaction because my dad was a social alcoholic. So I didn't have a good mentor. And I found better mentors later in life that made me better. So the greatest things that comes from that story is I was able to teach my son not to act like that. And the moral of the story is I'm so glad that I was a jerk when I was younger, so I could teach my kid not to be as he was older. And I'm exceptionally proud of Preston.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I think I got from probably almost everybody that I interviewed was how polite and mature Preston was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I changed when I got around the military, Rob. Everything changed with me the day that I accepted that job and I started, going. I mean, I had a bald head for the longest time. It wasn't because I didn't have hair or didn't want to have hair. I was working on a Marine base. And I was sitting there one day in the car and said, you know what? I wonder if I could get along more with that lieutenant colonel that I'm about to go talk to if I come in looking like a jarhead. And I went into the military barber and I said, give me a 1 jarhead solid. And that's what it was. And, that's why I didn't have hair for so long, because it made those people feel more comfortable around me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh yeah. I think we have a lot more to dive into with the feature film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot.
There's a lot of people that were asking, Rob, can you talk a little bit about it's going to be an hour and a half and just, the timing and all that? Because I did have people reach out to me about that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just as we're kind of wrapping things up, the 15-minute version is out on the channel right now. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. I would love feedback over there, by the way. So if you can throw a comment or two down, just how to make it better.
Or what you want to know.
Or what you want to know. Yeah, that was the next thing. Or you can put it right here in the chat tonight as well. Mm-hmm. But, I had our interview, just you and I, was an hour and a half. And then I think, the next interview was 45 minutes. And then I don't think I had an interview under 30 minutes out of about 12 people. So there's a lot of content that hasn't been covered. There's a lot of people that were not featured in this short version, but unfortunately school had to end at some point, and I just had to get a film done to graduate.
Right.
And that's where we ended up. But December of next year, I haven't picked a date yet. But she made me push it out a year so that I could do it right. We're going to have a feature-length film, probably about 90 minutes, I think. That's going to dive more into not just the illness that you had and the challenges, but more kind of your involvement in the community and your love for Disney, and kind of what, aside from the illness, what got you to where you are right now. So
yeah, we'll talk about that.
I'm really excited.
You did a great job. I was very, impressed with what you put together. I was humbled at the fact that you would even consider and want to do something on me, to be honest with you. And, it was incredibly hard to see myself in a coma. Honestly, when I watch your video, because I don't look at that picture a lot, but when I watch your video, every time I break up in tears because I was helpless and I hurt. There was a lot of people that were hurting because of me.
Mm-hmm.
That I wish I could fix. But I'm grateful to you for doing it, because it's a document, and if it helps one person, if one person out there watches what your movie is and sees it and goes and finds help for mental anguish, or goes and finds help for their physical ailments, that if it's a disabled person that realizes you can still be as effective as you want. Today I got up, I vacuumed this whole entire house, I washed some dishes, I went out and walked my entire street up and down, trying to build up my stamina for walking, and still am in here doing this. You can do anything you want in life if you put your mind to it. But if it helps one person, Rob, then we've done something good. And again, I'll reiterate, as much as I've struggled, I'm at this point, one hand less, I'm the happiest I've been in my life in a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Well, we have a lot more to talk about on another night. I know I don't even have to ask, but I will. Would you be interested in coming back and doing another Taco Tuesday in the future?
Sure. Be glad
because
to.
I have a lot of questions that I didn't ask tonight. As far as what caliber rifle do you use in hunting, and projects.
If you didn't take so long to get through the chat, you
right,
probably
to clean that up in the beginning. But I do want to I do want to kind of give you that last little bit just to say, is there anything that you're doing either in the community coming up soon that you want to shout out, or anybody that you want to shout out?
I think I think what I'd like to tell everybody is look at some of these smaller creators that are out there that are really bringing good content. Your people from the parks that are on the soft end, and I soft my starting end, like your people like Jennifer Caruso and Rye Guy, people like that are down there. Go support them. Your people that are at home working hard, like your Space Mountain Daves, and people like that are, just because they're a smaller creator doesn't mean they're not worth your time. Don't forget the bigger creators that are out there that are still bringing great content. JoJo may have 1.4 million or something like that he's coming up to, but I can tell you what, he's still doing great content, and there's a lot of people that don't know about him. So, and the last thing I would say is follow Dad Builds on what he does on the weeknights. I can tell you, if you think I'm not there, Chris will tell you, I guarantee you, I'll probably go in the chat and put it there right now. I have Dad Builds on every night. And even though you may not see me in a stream, I'm still watching and listening because it brings me happiness while I'm working on something on my channel or doing that. So follow people. There's so many good people out here. Find the people you love, support them, give them some watch time, give them a follow, give them a subscribe. All those things are free. They don't cost you a penny. You can do that. And do something nice for somebody in 2024. Find somebody that is good. Find somebody that you like and follow them. There's going to be more people. There's 25 creators that are going to come out in 2024 that you don't even know exist yet. That'll be good at what they do. So somebody that is doing things for the first time, somebody who's trying hard to figure out what they're doing. Nobody's great when they first start. Nobody. If you go back and watch my first couple streams, I sucked. I was horrible. But you get better. You get better over time. Find the people in our community that are working to get up to 1,000. Chris and I show it every Friday night, or at least we try to. If we don't, it's on my website or on my YouTube page, right on the front, up and coming creators under 1,000. Something Chris and I started a long time ago. We just had a couple people go out of there with Tina, and somebody else just went out. Chris and I take a lot of pride in that. Go over there and look at those channels and check out those newer creators and give them some love. And the final thing I'll say is I will be selfish on one. My next focus is Joy S. I want Joy, who's a friend of our community, to get up over 1,000 followers. I want her to feel the same thing that my other friends have done. So if you make it about somebody else for at least 5 minutes of your life, you'll do something good.
100% agree. I love it. And I just want to point out, I asked you to tell me about a future project or, shouting out, and you did again, shouted out other people. So that's why you're here. That's why we love you. It's about the community. It's about other people and picking people up. And if you can do one good thing for somebody,
Well, there's so many great creators. You can pick your night, There's each person has their different dynamic. Steve from the World on Monday nights does an incredible job. So does Corey on Thursday night. So does Resort TV One on Friday. But they're all different. But so does Dean the Turkey Legster when he's been down there doing it, and Space Mountain Dave recently, and whoever. It doesn't matter. When you guys have done it, you guys were live from the park the other day. I can tell you that I sat with someone in this chat and said they deserve a lot more people than the people are watching. We got to get more people to watch them. I swear that conversation had as God is my judge. So I want that. I want people to support your business and Dynamics business with what they're doing, and Susan Silva with what she's doing, and every other person that's a member of our community that has a Disney-based business. I want our community to try to support them first before going out, because how much stronger can our community be if our friends who have businesses are doing well?
Yeah. Taking a village doesn't mean just raising kids, but just working and building things together. I mean, I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start kind of wrapping this up. I don't want to take too much time. I know there's other people that are live at 8:00. But I will say next week is going to be just a little bit different. Next week, we are going to have what do we call it?
Off on a tangent.
Off on a tangent. It's going to be Taco Tuesday off on a tangent. It's a different segment of Taco Tuesday. So we'll have that going on next week as a premiere, and then in 2 weeks, it's going to be fun.
Is it Baker?
It's Baker. It's the Disney Baker coming in 2 weeks, and
that should be an alcohol mandated stream.
Get your beverages ready.
Not for you or him, for the people watching.
Right. You know what? We might have to come up with a drinking game for this one. So, yeah. But Pete, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for allowing me and Melanie into your life, and the documentary and just everything that you've done for us has been absolutely amazing. And it's fitting that you're the first one back here as we're recreating Taco Tuesday.
I'll give you one thing. I want to see as many of these people in your chat saying hello to Rob and Mel in August on Friday night when we open up with our cocktail party and karaoke. Cocktail party and karaoke. I want to see as many people in this chat here with us in August. It would be great to see you.
Yeah. And it'll be that's over my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
My birthday is August 15th. So
nice. August 15th to the 18th, and a Red Sox game, because Angela Minter told me I had to.
I forgot my hat. I was going to wear that tonight, but I didn't. I also want to say thank you to everybody in the chat, and thank you to our moderators. We're kind of rebuilding this thing, and it's amazing to have people in there that make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Especially since a lot of you just came in, you were like, "Oh, I'm a mod because I just made you one and I didn't ask," and I just appreciate you so much for not being mad at me about that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Pete, if you hang out, we'll send it out and we'll talk for a few moments, and then but you'll be back. We'll pick a date, right?
Yes, we'll pick a date and talk about something. There'll be some good things to talk about. I
got lots to talk about.
We'll pick a topic. We'll talk about Paul Engel dancing naked watching the streams or something. I don't know. It'll be something good.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. On that note, appreciate you being here on Disney Connections, where we're going to talk about all things Disney.
Bye.